everyone, and welcome to Perspectives. My name is Abigail, and I have with us here Franka.
Hello.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of graduates go through, which is postgraduate depression. Now, this is one subject that there's not been a lot of study on. This is one subject that there isn't even a defined definition or a set definition of what postgraduate depression is, but it is something that a lot of people go through after university. And in my experience, if I were to define postgraduate depression, I would say it is that feeling of lethargy, that depressive state or depressive mood that you're in after you graduate, and you're hit with the big three question of who am I, what do I want to be, or what do I want to do with my life, and how exactly do I get there? And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I feel what really causes this is expectations. When you have so much expectations of yourself, you have expectations of yourself first of all, but then again you also have family, and your family also places a lot of expectation on you and what they want out of you. And then you also have expectation from your friends, which is something that a lot of people will not see. But when you look at that social circle, there is that expectations that you get from your friends when you started life together, or when you've had almost of the same experiences. But I think my expectations of myself was something that I could deal with because I knew, things take time. But then the expectations of my family, I'm not wanting to let my father down, knowing that he has put in so much effort, and my mom has put in so much effort and given me emotional support to be where I am, was just something that I felt that, I just started feeling this. There was just air around me where it wasn't just working for me anymore, right? And then also there was expectations from my friends as well. We started life together, so we expect that when we go into the next phase of our lives, then we should all be at that point together. So I feel like expectations do play a role.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I do agree with you on that one. When it comes to expectations, for me, my personal experience was more so my expectations of myself. So my family was a little different. My mom, she's very understanding, and she's like, you just graduated, give yourself some time, take your time or whatever. My sister also was very supportive, and my friends, they were, because they've been through the same situation. But for me, I had all of these things that I needed to achieve. I had expectations of myself. I'm done with school now. I want to have a job in my field. I want to be making a certain amount of money. I want to be able to talk to people and be like, okay, this is who I am, and this is where I work, and this is, my education, my career. So for me, it was really again, expectation is a really big thing, but it was more so my own expectation of myself. But I do understand what you're talking about when it comes to within your friend group, because there's always that, when people ask you, so what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Oh, I just graduated. So then what, so what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
And also for me, because right after school, I didn't get a job within my field, right after school. I was working as a financial services representative at CIBC. So then I'd have conversations with my friends, and they're like, okay, so what's going on with you? What are you doing now? And I'm like, yeah, I just graduated. And so where are you working? I'm working at the bank. And they're like, is that your field? Exactly. There's that. Was that what you studied?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. But for me, it was just remembering that it's not really about what's going on right now, but more so where I'm getting to. And the way that I saw it was, I'm done with school. Obviously, there's that goal to, get into the workforce, especially within
do something
my
with your
field.
life.
Exactly. Yeah. But then obviously I still have to pay the bills, you know what I mean? I still have to take care of myself. So whatever job gets me through for the moment. And then before I eventually, go into the workforce, within the field of psychology, which is pretty much what happened. And obviously with COVID, that's another.
COVID was literally playing with my mental health. It was
for everyone.
It was taking jabs at me, and I was
Yeah.
But no.
COVID is another point. I feel for us, especially new graduates, 2020 graduates, COVID is part of our lives now. And if we ever tell our stories, years from now, we'll always reference COVID.
Girl, I missed my graduation.
Tell me about it.
Of COVID. I think that was the day it really just hit me what is this?
Yeah.
I just felt so depressed. And guys, like I said, there's no medical diagnosis for postgraduate depression, right? But how would you say, what was that feeling for you? What did you feel like? How would you characterize your um
How I felt?
yeah.
I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
I was incredibly proud of my degree.
Mhm.
I loved going to school. I loved everything. It's really weird, but I really enjoyed it. But I was really looking forward to having my mom. I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was like she's gonna be there, and having my siblings there. And at the time, the person I was dating, like, we're looking forward to like the whole. We had a whole plan. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go there, have the whole ceremony, then have a party after. It was, it was really just planned out for me, and to not have that. And I was looking forward to being called up because, again, the same thing like with you, I put in, again, I was really just like I was a professional student.
Yeah.
I was so invested in going to school, and like having that degree and being done for me was like, okay, I deserve to be celebrated in that way,
Yes.
And then, well, like the day that the graduation happened, actually, I was actually working. I was a little detached, to be honest, because I knew that I wasn't going to have a ceremony. I was really sad about it, but at the same time, it's like, I just like, you know what, I'm just going to go on and continue with my life. I didn't watch the video, so I didn't even see my name come up on the screen, which is a little sad, but honestly, I don't care because, like, I mean, I just felt like, well, it wouldn't really make, like, it wouldn't replace that, because my sister had a ceremony. I was there. Yeah.
But anyways, even when I found that I got into the job market, right? And like I was lucky enough, I was one of the lucky people who got a job like before the whole, isolation and restrictions that the government put in place.
Right.
But I find that even after getting the job, just being at home, I started wondering to myself, okay, is this really what I want to do in my life? Now, don't get me wrong, I love my degree and I actually love what I do. But then, like you said, that expectation of yourself, you start to feel like maybe I should be here.
Exactly.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you do have to start from the bottom. So we should okay not having it all figured out.
Social media is a really big one that I can certainly relate to because you have people who, and again, maybe not even consciously but subconsciously, right? Because like I'm not one person to be like, okay, you know what, I want your life, or you're doing so much better than me. I set my path and I follow my path. But at the same time, just being vulnerable, you know what I mean? There's like, you're already like doubting yourself, you're already down about everything. Definitely. So it's like a double whammy. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna just have some downtime, I'm gonna go on social media and boom. Yeah, this one girl, she has this and they're graduating.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I just keep thinking in my head, I feel like we had it good. In the sense of, yes, I know there was COVID. Yes, I know like we didn't get to graduate as much as other people. But we had it good in the sense of there are some people who did not get a job.
Right, yes. And I think we should really talk about it. Because I feel like we talk about like a lot of the things that we didn't like about like what happened with COVID. But I have to like reiterate this. Finishing university and getting a job at the bank, I consider myself lucky. And then the way that it went too, like finished up with the bank and then eventually got a job in the organization. Like I can't even, there's a lot of people, like you said, there's a lot of people who are still looking for jobs. I have friends that are still looking for a job, and I'm not going through what they're going through and I cannot speak for them. But the overwhelming feeling of anxiety that I can see that they're experiencing, the overwhelming feeling of being out of place, even in the friend group, right? You know how people can easily talk about their accomplishments without feeling like it's an accomplishment? These people have literally zero. They have nothing. And especially because during COVID they started giving out stimulus checks the CERB checks, right? And then they wouldn't be able to get any because they never really had a job in the first place. So it was rock bottom for a lot of people, and I can say this because I saw it firsthand, the way it hit a lot of my friends. So I cannot express how much of an overwhelming feeling, because I can sit here and talk on about how it's difficult, knowing that I'm feeling a lot of anxiety because there's a lot of unknowns in my life right now. I'm feeling a lot of, I will not say I'm feeling a lot of dissatisfaction with my job. I think it's more the COVID causing me to feel a lot of dissatisfaction. But
I can sit here and talk about how sad and depressing it is,
Right.
but you know, some people have it worse.
Yes, at the end of the day, honestly, it's really in your head because you define what success is for you. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like, oh my God, these girls are here telling us about their life story, and then she finishes by saying, well, I do have a job in my field, it doesn't define who you are to begin with. And when it comes to like timing, it's different for everyone. It's one thing that I've had to learn the hard way. You can't compare yourself to anybody. Just because it's not happening for you right now does not mean that it would never happen. And your self-worth as a person, as a human, has nothing to do with what your you think achievement should be, what success is, you know, based on society's standard or whatever. It's very, very mental because you as a person, you're alive, you are making this contribution, you know, every day that you go to bed and you wake up in the morning, you continue with your day. You're doing a great job. So keep doing that job.
Keep doing that.
Keep doing that. Because that's good.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, like she said, define what success is for you. Set measurable and attainable goals.
Smart goals.
Because even though, because I promise you, everybody's going through it, right? People don't talk about it. People don't say what is they experiencing, because the truth is, what I've realized is that you believe that people are doing good. People are doing so much better. But the truth
it's always better in other people's houses.
Yeah, but it's like it's always greener on the other side.
Yeah,
but the truth is,
that's not really what it is.
Exactly.
No.
The truth is that they're also suffering and they're also experiencing they're also going through their own level of depression as well.
That's a human experience. It's funny because I tell my siblings, I'm like, well, I know you have it hard, but just so you know, it's the human experience. It goes with being a person, a human in this world. You know, you're not gonna have like even the richest and the biggest or whatever, whoever this person is you're looking up to, they have their own problems. You know, like different kinds of problems, obviously, but they do have their own problems.
Yeah, and honestly, your struggles are as real to you, no matter what. Like I believe that your struggles are real to you.
They are
as
valid.
Much as the other person's is as well, right? Yeah. So that's a little bit about that. Yeah. So if you're in the job market searching, there is 500,000 people, you know, applying for the same jobs. Just keep working hard at it, and like just believe that you will, you know, someday be able to achieve everything that you set out for yourself. I feel like we've covered a lot of the things. I don't want to end this video without, you know, touching on how to manage this.
Manage stress?
Yes. Yeah. Not only stress, like the depressive state that we just talked about. Like how do we, I think we need to talk about,
there's a problem, like, so how do you
deal with it? Yes.
I feel like when it comes to solution, especially to a problem that's so subjective, it's really what works for you. So one of the things that I did a lot was I'd have conversations with my friends who have had to go through the same
thing.
Exactly. Speaking up about it. Again, and this is a whole different conversation, and I'm hoping that we can have that conversation about mental health and how we should normalize talking about mental states and mental health.
Yes.
But then again, you know, like for me, you know, talking with my sister, she's been a really, really big rock for me. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, okay, this is what I'm going through, and she's like, you know what? You will get there. You just gotta be patient with yourself. So talk about it with someone. And if there are different ways that you can manage stress, you know, like, again, physical symptoms of stress, you know, maybe going to the gym if you're able to do that, try to eat, you know, well, eat healthy, have some more sleep, even though it's probably not
a routine.
That
works for you and your mental health.
If you're a person like myself who has to have a routine to feel sane, then
get yourself
a routine.
Even if it's getting your lashes done.
And if you can't afford to do these little things like get your lashes done, but you can like do a skin routine.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. That's
walk your dogs.
Like, exactly. That's one big thing. Like when I talk with my clients, I'm like, the one little goal you can set for yourself right now. What is that thing? Oh, I'm gonna go for a walk. It makes me feel a little better. But it does.
Listen to good music, because you know music, you know, is the medicine of the heart.
Yes.
So listen to good music. Do whatever it is that you need to do, but just pick yourself up. Yeah. Because you
open
got
up
this,
the windows. You know, like let the light
this.
in. Do something little. Get a little potted plant and, you know, help it
Feel
grow.
Good about it.
Exactly, because like those little achievements, it makes you feel a little better about yourself. And I know that we can't, like, we are not experts. We can't tell you how to, you know, like, manage whatever you're going through. But one thing I would want you guys to know, if you're listening to this and, you know, it resonates with you, you are very important in this world and your presence matters a lot. So just remember that. Oh, and then so my favorite quote: success is going from failure or disappointment to disappointment without losing enthusiasm.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to myself and Franca today. So please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. The name of the show is Perspective. So we want to know what your perspective is, what your experience was. So we will try as much as possible to, be engaged in whatever conversation goes down in the comment box. So please leave us a comment, and thank you so much for watching the Perspectives.
Thank you, guys.
And I'm done. And I'm done. And I'm 1, 2, 3.
Should we have done thank you guys like bye?
Thank you guys so much for listening to us. Listen to Franca and her sexy quote. That was a nice quote, I'll give you that one. But I do. Hey.